Okay, so if you're following along, this is part 2. We're in the beautiful Birds and Treetop Treasures. Okay, we are on part 2. So if you missed part 1, go back up to the top of my channel and let's go ahead and just keep going. We were working with white, petty beige, which is 1083, chestnut, which is 1081, and black, and these are all Prismacolors. Okay, line back up here. We had just done this area and it ended up like this. Remember, we're not doing it exact. And then we did this here, and now we're working on this. This is more streaky looking. So what I'm going to do is just leave some of the areas white. I'm going to come in with this putty, and we're going to just do, again, it may be easier for you to watch the video and then re-watch it if you're coloring along. I'm doing every other one in the putty color. Okay, and then every other one looks to be white. Go ahead and put some white in there. I know the paper's white, but as we start blending in a little bit, it may help to have that white in there. Okay, then I'm going to take the brown and I'm wondering, do I want to do that whole thing? And I think the answer is yes. So I'm going to do this. And it's still a little messy. That's okay. I'm going to clean it up as I blend here in a bit. If you've stuck around for part 2, thank you. I just want to make sure I'm giving this bird, this hummingbird, the allotted time that it needs to actually take shape. So again, this is a bunch of muddled together browns and tans and such. So we want to be sure that we're adding all those colors in, and then we'll be blending in a bit. Now I'm going to come in with the black and do just under the edge. This is going to make it look a little bit more like it's tucked up underneath and not just floating around. Just be very sparing with it. Whoops, we forgot to do that one. At least I did. You probably remembered. So back with that brown again. Get that in. Then some black on the edge. Okay, and then because I don't want it to go real dark, I'm going to blend this with that putty color. See how it lightened it some? Just keep blending. Now I can also come across, whoops, come back. I can also come across, now what I did off screen. I just took my pencil and did this to get all the black off the tip. Because what I want to do is come across and do just the top of each of these white ones, just barely pulling down, blending into the white that I had done, and it'll just make it look a little bit more like it's tucked up under there. Okay? And then I'm going to put just a touch of brown on each of the ones that we're done with putty. And this isn't going to just do a lot for the picture, but it'll do just enough to make a little bit of a break in what's tucked up underneath. And then again, I'm going to come back with that putty color and blend each of those. See, this one shows really good how it's tucked up under there. Again, this is where we're fiddling a lot, and it may not make enough difference to you to go ahead and do it, but it does give a lot more dimension in there. Now, the thing I've got to think about is, what am I going to use on these lower pieces? And I'm thinking that I want to go ahead and use the putty. Let's see what happens if we put putty in here. Okay, and then I can take the brown and tuck right at the edges, coming out, so that it looks like it's tucked up underneath the feather that's above it. Then the putty again to blend. I know I've done probably more blending than normal, but it just helps finish it off, y'all. I don't know how it's looking to y'all through the camera, but to me here it's looking pretty good. Now we have this tail part, and you can see it's really dark with some of that dark blue color pulled in too. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the dark brown here. This is that chestnut, is that right? Yes, chestnut. Okay. And then I'm going to try this. I'm trying something different. I'm going to go ahead and make another color. Okay, so that's there. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pull the brown from up underneath here so that it looks like it's tucked up under. And then because this is supposed to be dark, I'm going to ever so lightly go across all this. I'm going to take the black and tip up in there. I'm going to take the dark again, the brown, that chestnut, and blend that. And again, your color choices are up to you totally. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. And then I'm going to come back with this putty beige, and I'm going to blend this. So it did give another brown, just a different shade. I didn't want it to be the same as this, but I didn't want it quite as dark as they had in their picture, if that makes sense. So yeah, you decide what you want to do. Okay, let's see what's left now. I think most everything else is in that first video, but let me look at my picture and let me go ahead and address some spots. So this right here, I had not done. And if you can see in the picture, it does show that there's some of that green in there again. So that's what I'm going to do, is that green. So I'm pulling back my moss green, which is 1097, and my lime peel, which is 1005. I am going to do the lime peel at the edge. And then I'm going to sharpen this just a bit. When you sharpen, put your pencil sharpener in your dominant hand and then twist, and you're going to get less breakage, or at least that's the way it does for me. I just can't sharpen it out in front of you. I can't reach like that. Okay, so now I've got a better point. I'm going to come through here. Just go right next to that line on each one of these. See how it looks shaded now? And then here. I'm going on around here. Anything that is along this line is going to get shaded so that it makes it look like it's tucked up underneath. And see, these are all tucked up under this one, and this is tucked up underneath this one. So that's how I'm deciding where to shade. Then I'm going to come back with this lime peel again and just blend. Okay, then let's go back and look at what we did not finish. I'm going to go ahead and take these. Okay, this was 1022 and 901. This is indigo, and this one is Mediterranean blue. And again, I treated this all as one area. Yeah, I almost did this video. I was thinking about posting it 2 weeks or several days apart, and I thought, no, for you that are coloring along, you don't want to wait another 3 days or however many days between posts. You want to go ahead and get to color it now. So that's why I am going to go ahead and have this to where you can see it as soon as you're done with part 1, instead of having to wait for it to pop up in the queue. So, have fun. I wouldn't want to wait. I'm not a waiting person. And again, whether you do this in male or female, is going to denote your colors somewhat. Okay, I've moved over to that indigo, that darker color. keep having to touch my phone because the picture's trying to go away. So I'm reaching over from time to time and just touching it. Yeah, I know I could go into settings and change that to where it doesn't disappear so quick, but Okay, and then up here under all these little lime peel green areas so that it looks like they are on top. And then let's blend it all. Anytime you're doing something and you want it to look a little bit lighter in a certain area, don't be afraid to come back with other pencils and do on top, like we did down in here. You know, this, we added some more color. So, yeah, play with your pencils, play with color. I'm gonna grab white and come up from the bottom on these. Look at that. I don't know how it's showing up for you, but for me, that showed up really nice. In fact, enough so that I'm just going to come up one side of all of these. Just adds a little bit more depth. Okay, let's grab that black. So the ends of all of these are going to be black. And these are still not as orangey as I would like them to be. So I may come back later and add a little bit of orange pulled from the base out. But also, now that I'm putting this yellow on, black, on the yellow, I'm not sure it needs to be any darker. So I guess it stands to reason, once you've pulled your colors, go ahead and color your page, and then at the very end, see if you need to go back and do any touch-ups. Because once you lay certain colors beside each other, they will begin to look a little different. This whole page, this 2-page spread is going to be so colorful. I love hummingbirds, but I never realized there were so many different kinds and how tiny some of them are. Now, can you see how I left just a little bit of white right there? It just helps to separate those two. And if you didn't, that's fine. You could come in with a paint marker and separate them. A gel pen. Don't separate them at all. Totally up to you. No coloring police. Nobody is going to knock on your door and say you did it wrong. You get to do what you want. Let's face it, we're all adults here. We'll do what we want. Okay, in this eye, I am going to grab 903 True Blue, because in the picture, that eye has blue all the way around it. It does. And then the inner part is done in black. And then there's just one little white spot where the shine mark is. And again, if you can't get a little white spot in there, welcome to use Posh pen, gel pen, marker, paint, or don't worry about it. Okay? Nothing says you need to worry about any of it. Okay, and then all of this is going to be black. And it is basically all black, but yeah, there's always a but with me. I am going to go ahead and do it black. I'm going to keep a lighter touch up here so that it's almost gray. And then a heavier touch as I'm down in here. Now pull out of these areas really careful. It's really hard to erase black. It stains paper pretty quick. But what I'm going to do is use my white pencil and go over part of this up at the top, just to make it look a little brighter, a little bit lighter, so it's not so dark. Yeah, sometimes it takes even a while for your black to fully cover. Okay, if I don't like it, that's okay. I can go over it again with the black. But I want to go over this with the white and just see if it brightens it up around that eye. And then I'll get a lighter touch as I come down. But what I'm trying to do is just kind of give that eye a little bit of lift. Yeah, I do like that. So up to you, but that's what I did on mine. And then the only thing I have left to do is to finish up this red area. And yeah, this really was 2 videos. So back to my magenta at 9:30 and my Crimson Lake at 9:25. So the lighter shade is going up here. Make sure your pencil is sharp so you can stay in those lines better than I did. Went to the darker shade. Same thing here. Get around each of those little feathers. Sometimes it's in the details at the end that can make or break your page. I really want that deep. Okay, and now I'm going to come back and blend a little bit right through here. And then I'm going to try something. So if you've stuck with me through 2 videos, you know I'm always out for trying something new. I am going to grab that white pencil again and see the end of it's a little bit dirty. So I am going to do some sharpening real quick. It's going to get that tip clean. and actually sharpen it for me. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to come along. Oh, and something I've been doing is brushing at my paper. Don't do that. Get a big fluffy blush brush from Dollar Tree and use that, because when you brush, sometimes if it's actual color that's there, you can swipe that right across your page. That will not make you happy. I have done it, yes. Okay, so I'm just going down each of these. Do you see how that's popping that up just a bit? Now this really looks like it's pushed back under there. So just on all the tips. And that's it. This right here keeps looking like it's just solid white. I know I used putty up in there, and I'm wondering if I missed that one. So I'm going to add a bit of putty just to knock that one back a bit. Maybe because it's right next to the blue, but it just really looks bright. Still looks a little bright, so I'm going to come back in with this chestnut and do just a touch there too. I like that better. Okay, so when you see things like that, just go ahead and touch them up. Don't worry about it. There we go. All right, so that is our hummingbird. Yeah, nope, that's still loose. Good, it came off. Did not smear it. I do have some cleaning up to do. But anyway, all right, so there we go. Not too bad. Not too shabby. There, that's a little easier to see, I think. But anyway, again, we did change some things, but totally up to you what you do. I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. I'm so glad you stopped by. And stay tuned. I have some other videos that I'm going to interchange with some of these hummingbirds. So it's not going to be just all hummingbirds for 6 or 8 weeks. I am going to do a few other things. I'm really thinking about showing you my closet organization because we're so happy with the way it's turned out. And possibly the bathroom when I'm finished organizing in there. This eraser is Factus Black, number 18. It used to be available at Hobby Lobby. I believe I got this one at an art store in Austin. So, cannot remember the name. But anyway, yeah. Okay, and this is just a big scruffy brush. But it's soft enough I can do that and get all the stuff off here. Just clean it up. Okay, so if you're not following, please do subscribe. I will see you in a few days. Bye.